Hi, Andrea here. I want to talk about eating for love. My notion is that when we eat, it's an act of self-love, and so it's a way in which we're taking care of ourselves. And so I want to talk about food and eating in a way that I hope can sort of free you up from some maybe preconceived notions or things, things about food that you inherited from your upbringing or any way in which food has gotten unhealthy, right? So let's talk about how we can go from any kind of negative feelings about food to sort of positive feelings about food and what it's doing for me. I really want to encourage that we want to be happy in life and we want to enjoy our meals, whether we're alone or with friends or family. We want to just enjoy food. And I really don't believe in deprivation, right? So even if I want to make certain choices or stop eating food that I know is bad for me, I don't want to approach it with an attitude of I'm going to deprive myself. I feel like that notion of deprivation can just be really negative, I don't and it kind of leads to unhappiness and often can just lead to weight gain. I'd rather think about eating for love, eating healthfully, because I certainly enjoy treats. I do it occasionally and with proportion. We'll talk about that. So, and in general, I would say this, that portion size is really, really, really key, right? So eating 10 chips is not a problem. Eating the whole entire bag, maybe is, right? So it's useful to look at serving sizes and be guided by serving sizes because that's really informative. And that made a big change in my diet and my and how I made choices once I realized that. Again, in my family growing up, you just ate whatever, and I had to learn that there was such a thing as a portion size. So here's 10 core guidelines. Okay, number one, when you make a plate of food, you'd like half your plate to be vegetables and fruits, right? You can think about that breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Half my plate, I want half of it to be vegetables and fruits. And that gets me really, really far down the line in terms of making healthy choices. And it's really helpful when there's high calorie options on the table. If half my plate is vegetables and fruits, I've got less space for the higher calorie stuff. I can have some of it, but I've got less space for it. I can do a good portion. Okay, great. Protein item is about a quarter of your plate, right? Another guideline is the palm of my hand, right? And you can see the palm of my hand is smaller than a lot of steaks that are served in America, right? So the palm of my hand is a really good guideline for the amount of protein that I want to eat. And that leaves another quarter of my plate for fun, right? So whole grains are recommended year round, really excellent to have some whole grains. But sometimes you might want to have the stuffing or you might want to have the mashed potatoes or something else that is a refined, not a whole grain. Have a small portion. Again, I do not believe in deprivation. Sip water throughout the day, and if you're at a party, sip water. Sometimes we don't realize we're thirsty and not hungry. I often will do that test with myself, and in fact, I was thirsty. Have the pie or the cake or the cookie. Just take a portion, right? Remember, no deprivation. Have it, enjoy it, just a portion. And then find time during the day to take a walk or your favorite form of exercise. Keep moving throughout any season of the year. Number 7, enjoy yourself. Number 8, no judgment. No judgment. Number 9, try something new. Woo, that would be fun. Number 10, celebrate life. Eating for love. All right. Now, sometimes we don't know what to eat or when to eat or how much to eat. So it's useful to talk about the macronutrients. So there are 3 key macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates, and fats. And none of these are bad. They're all good. They all have good. They all come with good and bad, but they all have good in them. We need them all. So we need some amount of protein during the day, and we need some amount of carbs, and we need some amount of fats during the day. And these are macronutrients as opposed to micronutrients. So micronutrients are minerals and other things like that we also need, that we typically get in a good, varied diet. Okay. Protein can kind of be confusing, so I'm going to just give you some thoughts that will give you some ideas, maybe some new ideas on protein. So the first question is how much, and there's a lot of debates about this, and there certainly are high protein diets, and you can do different things. The Institute for Medicine recommends that adults between the ages of 18 and 50 assume 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So you've got to translate the body weight, but that would mean 55 grams per day for somebody who weighs 150 pounds, so 55 grams of protein. As we get over 60, it's actually recommended that you eat more protein to support muscle mass, right, and strength, as well as bone health. So seniors can eat 1 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So again, that would increase it to 69 to 81 grams for a 150-pound person. So I'm looking for, somewhere in the 50 to 81 grams of protein range. Where can I find it? I recommend having protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You pretty much want protein with every meal. You could also add protein to snacks. My recommendations are going to favor leaner, lower fat options. So for breakfast, eggs, milk, yogurt, cottage cheese, regular cheese, oatmeal. For lunch, tuna, salmon, sardines, chicken, turkey, cheese, tofu, beans and rice, other plant-based substitutes, peanut or other nut butter, lentil salad, quinoa. For dinner, chicken, fish, tofu, plant-based substitutes, beans and rice, lentils, quinoa. For snacks, trail mix, turkey roll-ups, veggies with hummus or a yogurt dip, hard-boiled eggs, peanut butter on celery sticks, almond butter on apple slices, string cheese, almonds or other nuts, roasted chickpeas, pumpkin seeds, edamame, chia pudding, protein bars, and shakes. WebMD says that if you're watching your weight, try including protein with every meal because it helps you to feel fuller longer. You can also eat beef and lamb and pork, of course. Consider your palm sizes, the size, and the right portion of these. These are fattier items. Now, carbohydrates. Now, some people get really down on carbohydrates. I am really high on carbohydrates because vegetables are carbohydrates, and I like vegetables and I like fruit. All right. I use a lot of energy in the day, and that energy is really coming from the carbohydrates that I eat. The recommended guidelines are that 45 to 65% of your calories come from carbohydrates. So if you're eating around 2,000 calories, that's 900 to 1,300 calories from carbs. So this really falls into my line of recommendation of half your plate are vegetables and fruits. Now there are healthy and there are unhealthy carbs. So what are the healthy ones? Whole, fresh, or frozen fruit and vegetables. Canned is fine if nothing else is available. Whole grains. Low-fat milk, yogurt, kefir, and other dairy products. Beans and peas and lentils are low in fat and high in minerals. They're also a source of protein. Nuts and seeds are also a source of protein. So you want to limit adding sugars, refined grains, candy pies, and cakes. And when I say limit, I don't mean none. I just mean limit. Have a small taste. I keep dark chocolate in the house, and I take a square or two in the evening if I want. I might have a cookie. I might have some grapes and then have like one cookie, so I'm sort of balancing and filling up on the fruits instead of just simply filling up on the cookies. Great. It's all about enjoying our food. Food for fuel and for fun. Now, I love French fries and chips. I crave salt, but I have to really control how much of those I eat. All right. So what are the healthier choices? So we're turning to fats now, the last macronutrient fats. So it is a macronutrient, which means we need it. We all need fat, right? So we can sort of think no fat diet, low fat diet. I actually need some fats, right? Your body needs, so here's Harvard group. Your body needs a regular intake of fat. It helps your body energy, protects your organs, supports cell growth, keeps cholesterol and blood pressure under control, and it helps your body absorb vital nutrients. So when you focus too much on cutting fat, you could be depriving your body of things that it needs. But that doesn't mean I break up the jumbo size of potato chips now that I've decided I need fat, right? There are good fats, less good fats, and there are very bad fats, okay? So you want to make the healthy choices. For fats, it's pretty simple. So the solid fats are the saturated fats, and they're less healthy. And trans fats are super unhealthy and have been eliminated from most processed foods. So saturated fats include butter, margarine, cheese, and cream. And so we want to we might have those things, but we want to have them in reasonable portions. Now, the liquid fats are called unsaturated fats, and they're healthy. That includes olive oil, most of the vegetable oils, and healthy fats also include avocados, nuts, peanut butter, seeds. Coconut oil is debatable. Some people think it's super healthy, and then some people just point out that it is saturated, so it's a little bit less healthy. You can also get fats from salmon, mackerel, herring, tuna, and trout. So healthy fats, good for your brain. And I'm super jazzed to report that the new guidelines from the government does not place a limit on how much healthy fat you can eat. They say less than 10% saturated fat, so I'm okay buttering, occasionally buttering some bread. But otherwise, they're really emphasizing eating more vegetables, more fruits, whole grains, seafood, legumes, dairy, less meat, less sugars, less refined grains, but you can have the fat that you end up having. So a lower fat intake effort would be for a 2,000 calorie diet, about 67 grams of fat would be pretty low. The Mediterranean diet at 2,000 calories would be 78 to 89 grams of fat per day. So somewhere in there is fine. Don't worry so much. Just find those healthy fats and make that choice. All right, great. And then finally, I just want to talk about, again, I keep emphasizing, I don't want to deprive myself. I don't want to punish myself. I want to eat well and sort of be happy and enjoy life. And I am somebody who likes cake. I like pie. I like chocolates. I like black jelly beans. Don't get me started about the black jelly beans. So but I want to weigh what I weigh. And I don't want to go up and down. So I make choices, right? So I can have, a handful of black jelly beans, just not, an entire container of black jelly beans, right? So those are the things you want to do. So here's 10 tips for healthy eating, especially if I'm kind of going out and going to a party where there's a lot of food, right? So exercise earlier in the day, right? It is about calories in and calories out, but it's really about healthy calories in, right? Because I could eat 1,000 calories, which would be a light diet, but the 1,000 calories could all be like really bad food, right? So we want to eat healthy in, right, and then healthy out. Drink plenty of water during the day. Specifically, it's really useful to drink 2 glasses of water before you go to an event, right, or drink it early in the event, right, and that'll just kind of fill you up a little bit in a useful way. And then how about when you get to a party, waiting about 30 minutes before you eat anything so you can kind of watch the food go by and you can get a sense of kind of what your options are. Decide how much alcohol you want to drink and estimate kind of how many calories are involved with the alcohol. If you start to get hungry, look for the good stuff, right? See what the veggies are and add those to your plate. Look for some protein options, leaning towards less fat and sort of less sauciness in the preparation, looking for some healthy carbs. And just evaluate where you want to spend your calories. Is there an amazing appetizer? Are there fabulous fries? Is there a wonderful cake? Save some calories for those items that you want to try. Take a break in the event and put the plate down. Maybe grab another glass of water. Is there an opportunity for an activity? Take that in. Is there a game? Can you go dancing? Can you walk around the grounds? Anything like that. And ignore the people who are pushing food and pushing drinks, right? Just make your own decisions. So say yes to life, but do it smartly. We want to enjoy life. We just want to be smart about it. I don't want to beat myself up. I don't want to judge myself. If I happen to have eaten a lot, no judgment. Just go on to the next day, get some exercise, eat healthy. And just in general, hold on to this idea of eating for love, eating to take care of yourself. Let me know if you have any questions.